me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight, it's the Alive Church Xfinity Series here at Richmond for the Richmond 175. I'm Dean Doucette, joined by none other than Wesley Outland. Wesley, short track action, Richmond Raceway. I mean, you gotta love it.
Yeah, you gotta love Richmond Raceway, right? 3/4 mile racetrack. Of course, this is going to be a fun place. We're going to see some exciting racing here, and obviously ready to watch what these guys will do here in the Xfinity cars. You know, the trucks, the Cup, Xfinity—they're all different ways of driving, all different types of styles, and we'll see what these Xfinity boys can do here on this Sunday evening.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, Richmond, a great little track, right? Two distinct corners here. These guys often run clean and green, so 175 laps. Of course, we had Jorge Leal dominate at Darlington. I mean, dominate on the long run. Looks like he's looking pretty good in practice as well. Let's get into our championship standings here. The aforementioned Jorge Leal out front, Reiner in second, Hebert, Jackson, and Williams your top five. Greg Ratliff, Travis, Gilly, Ripka, and Bruce in the top 10. I mean, Wesley, we're on race 9, I believe. I think we're only doing 12 or 13 races this season, so we're getting down to it. I mean, Leal's got about a 20-point lead. Like it says 15 on here. These unofficial, so it's probably around 20. You know, these guys. What do these guys got to do? They got to make a move tonight, don't they?
You're exactly right, especially at a place like Richmond Raceway. You know, it might be a success for someone else that might be on the struggle bus for the super speedways or the intermediate tracks to do well on the short track level, and then somebody of the short track level, you know, got to see what you can do. This is a place where I think it's an open playing field for anybody to make a surge to the postseason. And obviously, Dean, I'm going to be with you for the next couple of weeks. I'll be here tonight. We'll see what happens next Sunday as well. But obviously, you know, short track racing, Richmond's a very fickle track, right? I mean, it's one of those places where you could see a lengthy green flag run, or it's a place where it could be green caution, green caution, green caution, like we dealt with on Friday night with Nazareth. And you never know what you're going to end up seeing. So I love short track racing. I just hope we have a good race here tonight, bud.
Yeah, I think you can almost guarantee it, but I mean, you brought up, like I could hear it in my headset, even though you didn't say it, cautions breed cautions, right? So if we get one, we'll probably have several. So, you know, it's a matter of getting through those first 10 laps, and nobody does it quite like RGR, so I think they'll be fine out here. I think they'll be calm off the start. They'll be looking for a green flag race, and then who can outdo who. And, you know, you don't know a lot of the drivers here yet. You're getting to know a few of them, but the Bulldog you do know. Now, he's been showing some short track acumen lately.
Yeah, the Bulldog, Adam Newton, we know from the Nazareth world, and obviously he's somebody you better never underestimate. He's really, really good. He lives up near Roxborough or Hillsborough, North Carolina, so keep an eye on him. Obviously, I see some other names that come to mind. Obviously, Bryce Rayner's a name I've called some races for. Bernard Person as well as another one. Darren Bruce. Tristan Bruce is coming off of a win that actually got taken away after what happened at Nashville. Just some names. There's some new names here, but we're going to have fun, and I think they're gritting here,
Absolutely. Gridding up. Let's get into tonight's starting order. It's our points leader, Jorge Leal in the 51. He's on the point with a time of 22.151. On the outside of row number 1, it's Lance Buckshot Ripka. It's Person and Ratliff in row number 2. You got Reiner and Helm in 3. Travis and the Bulldog in row number 4. Starting 9th tonight be Nate Maurer. James Hebert, my fellow Canadian, will be starting in 10th. Hunt and Bruce will be in row number 6. Go a little further back, you got Williams, Lester, Musial, Spear, Walker the second. It's Evans Jr., Buskirk, Kane, Gilly, that's the Toad Man there. Scotty Groove out here tonight. Good to see a new face out here. Scott Olson back on the track, and George Dibble running out a nice 24-car field.
And of course, as Dean said, tonight is the Alive Church Richmond 175 for our coverage on Wind Tunnel TV. And they'll get a couple of preliminary laps. These laps do not count before they take the green flag. And obviously, they'll get settled in here with the 1 to go indication this time by. As you look at the front row there, and beautiful field of cars now getting set to go in this race. Jorge Leal, Lance Ripka on the front row. And am I correct? 175 straight laps. Am I right? No stages or anything like that for this series.
That is correct. No stages. So we look for this thing. I mean, whether it goes green or not, green flag runs are going to be highly important tonight. And I got to ask you, Wesley, how's your knowledge of paint jobs? Old cars, you know, some old cars from the past. Do you recognize them well?
I do recognize some of these old cars. I see some of them. I see a throwback to when, what was it, the old Kel Yarborough Hardy's colors, if you will, on the number 8 machine of Bernard
that was a
Person.
challenge, but we're about to go green here. Here we go.
Yeah.
Green flag down and away. Leo leads them down into 1.
So I take it these guys use a lot of throwback colors. There's we got one up in the fence already. Hold on there. And we work off a turn 2, put a lap here coming off the back straightaway, and it's Jorge Leal on the jump. All these guys rocket their way with Maurer. Ratliff side by side going to 3.
Yeah, that's Ripka just ripping the outside on the outside of Reiner. Wow. Him and Paul K almost making it 3 wide there. Paul K thinks better of it.
But they did get the lap complete. Jorge Leal will lead them on the opening go. Look at them on the back straightaway. Bernard Person, Ripka, Reiner, and Travis now your top 5. Good hard racing going on as they work their way here in the opening laps, working off of 4.
Yeah, good start here. Everybody clean and green. I look for, you know, self-spins out here are going to be something to watch for. You can lose control of this car very easily. We're seeing some guys wiggling there. You got Ripka, you know, here at Richmond, Wesley. You can do that outside early, I find, and maybe late as well, but early on, you can really rip a couple of laps, lap 1, lap 2, but after that, that low line's going to start to prevail.
And you got to stay hugged to the inside of the racetrack, because honestly, that's that part of the racetrack where it looks like it's really, really good, especially in the corners. You notice everybody's staying down to the inside, and then once you clear the corners, then you watch them start going to the middle lane, the top lane, and I want to see if we get a 3rd lane going. The 16's trying to do that. Look at this machine up here. Right there in 10th, Claus Williams trying to get the 3rd lane going to that Ford Performance Parts entry up on the outside.
I love it, Wesley. Let's do it. Let's get up there. If anybody will do it, it'd be Claus Williams, too. He loves riding up high. I'm not sure it's working for him quite yet, but we get some rubber up there, maybe she will. You know, I asked you about
Bernard Person now the new leader. Look at this beautiful-looking car. You kind of asked me about some trivia NASCAR throwback, and there's it is right there, the Kel Yarborough throwback cars.
Well, yeah, the cars. That's correct. That's a mismatch of a bunch of them. We got caution on the track. Uh-oh. Looks like
we do got a yellow flag.
I don't know. Maybe Buskirk involved?
Caution out here. First one quickly in the race, possibly the 99 off the pace. And here's a look at a replay here. We'll try to find out what happened.
A hard time locating exactly what did happen here on the track as we just kind of watch.
That's Buskirk in that white 99 car, those that are watching, and we're seeing if possibly he's the cause of the caution, or was it somebody else? Look at the 61 trying to get up on his outside. Well, we'll see here.
Something going to go on with these 2 cars, I believe. There it is.
Yep, there it is. Oh, look at the guys right up the middle. Excuse me, coming through. Buskirk, though. Got to wonder how much damage might be on his machine. The 61 also of Scott Olson got caught up in it.
So lots of guys coming in here, Wesley. I'm not sure what these pit stops are about. Perhaps some gas and go on, guys? I mean, I really don't know why you would come in at this point in the race. Fuel mileage in these cars, you know, over 110 laps. So that's not really a concern on a one-stop strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I
Maybe
figured,
tires?
7 laps into this thing, I would not think they'd be coming down to pit road, but maybe they're thinking they can, stretch this out.
I mean, if you got the tires and you're in, say, 20th place, why not, right? I mean, you go
Yeah,
in through the
yeah.
first, but that's about it. So, a little odd there. Olsen coming down. He was involved in that wreck. Get that He Hut paint job on there. That's Scooter's He Hut. Go check them out on Facebook. But Bernard Person out here leading. I have some experience with Mr. Person on these short tracks, in particular on Richmond. I got to tell you, Wesley, you don't want to trifle with the 8 machine here at Richmond. He really knows how to roll these corners.
And if I remember correctly, the race that I did the day after, a couple of days after New Year's at Talladega on the Thursday series, he won the race at Talladega.
Yeah, I believe he did. Him and Adam, I believe, were all alone on the track, were they not?
Yeah. Came down to those two there at the finish. Very excited to watch.
They had their teammate, Darren Bruce, and he was in a bit of a pickle. If he helped anybody, the other guy wouldn't talk to them, I don't think. So, Bruce...
the lights. Yeah, the lights are off the pace car, Dean. I think we're going to get ready to come to a restart, buddy.
Go ahead and call us down, Wesley.
Well, we're getting ready after our first caution. We're getting ready to put 10 laps on the board when they come back to the Geico restart zone. It's Bernard Person and Jorge Leal on the front row. The pole man now to second spot. Reiner Ripka, row 2. Travis Maurer make up row 3. Ratliff, Hunt, Newton, and Helm ready to bring them back to the restart box as the pace car comes on the pit road. Person gets a great launch on the inside lane for the restart, and he'll sit him selling back into turn 1.
Yeah, he gone. He checked out right away. Great start by him. Leal stuck on the high side. He's going to lose another spot. Reiner gets around him. Ripka's going to fall in line, so everybody up front gets in line. You look back at Rachel Hunt here. She's hung up on the high side.
Side by side. Look at this on the outside lane. There's that young lady, Rachel Hunt. Remember, we saw her put on a really good show. She led a majority of laps at Talladega a couple of Thursday nights ago as they worked their way off the back straightaway. Short track racing, totally different than the big super speedway at Talladega. And right now, everybody just kind of trying to find their place on the track right now, working on 4.
Yeah, they're all trying to get sorted out here, and this is the key points. Whoa, and the cane into the wall hard there as he comes from the low side back in line, and he smashes the wall. Holy cow.
Better check on Edward Kane of the 21. Wonder how much damage might be on that machine as the race rolls on. We still stay green, and boy, what a big launch on the restart by the Ford, number 8 for Screaming Eagle of Bernard Person, and he has set sail away from Reiner.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, Reiner hanging in there. And this is going to be the thing. You know, you got Reiner here and Leal and Ripka, these 3 in particular, behind him. Of course, Travis and Maurer there, too. Maurer, quite a long-run guy in his own right. And we got trouble on the track. Hold on. Olsen involved. Scott Olsen. Scotty Grove out there. So
Scotty
newcomer
Grove
Scotty
and Scott
Grove.
Olsen. It's a Scotty wreck, if you will, Dean.
Yeah, I think so. They're fighting over their name. Who gets to be called Scotty?
Scotty Grove, Scott Olsen going around, putting us under the yellow flag. And hey, by the way, that's what happens to you whenever, remember Scott Olsen, he came to pit road earlier. We mentioned it. He's hired all the way in the back. This is the type of environment you have when you're in the back of the pack. And the 61, man, oh boy, that's the second time he's kind of gotten the bumper to somebody. That's Scott Olsen there. Yeah.
Yeah, Olsen coming back out there, got a new wheel out there, and I don't think it's doing him any favors there. As he said to the other Scotty, why don't you go ahead and beam yourself up? I'm old, Wesley. Yeah. That's an old Star Trek reference there. I'm not sure it goes with the young people.
And we do got cars on pit road.
Again,
well,
yeah.
The force is strong with you. At least that's what Bernard Person is thinking right now. For sure.
There's Reggie Evans out there, a good friend of Mr. Darren Bruce. Brian Helm, who was extremely fast out at Darlington, but he had to fade back for unknown wheel problems or whatever was going on with him, and really destroyed his race. It was a shame. He was on the pole at Darlington, leading, and all of a sudden he just dropped back to last place for inexplicable reasons. There's Darren Bruce coming off of pit road as well. So we got some heavy hitters down on pit road here. And, you know, a place like Richmond here, Wesley, I'm not sure I want to be at the back of the pack.
Yeah, you know, we kind of talked about when you're in the back and these type of scenarios happen, you know, obviously up in the front, in the middle too. I don't want to say that everybody's okay in the front or the back, but even in the middle, you know, you're within, as my friend Jimmy Spencer used to always call the snake's patch, right? I mean, you're literally right there amongst all the chaos. One wrong slip and you can have a problem. One guy in the front can get a little loose and it makes everybody check up from behind. I will say this though, we're closing in on 20 laps into this race right now. We're on a good pace. Had a couple of cautions. That happens here at short tracks, but Bernard Person, as we get ready to set him up for the restart, has just been so strong. And you got your throwback cars of course, Mr. Cale Yarborough, the man from South Carolina, 3-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, when he drove the Busch car, number 11, when he drove the Hardee's car. You know, I love the throwback colors, and I think he's got a little bit of Earnhardt up on the top for the Budweiser number 8 machine because he is driving car number 8, right? Dean, come back to green.
That is correct. Here we go. Green flag down and away. Another good launch by him. Leal again. It might lose a spot here. This would be the third time that he'd lose a spot. Ripka just rips the outside, trying to get around him. And that's what I'm talking about. That outside, especially in corner one on a restart, you can get it done. Maurer behind him also trying to take advantage. Here comes the Bulldog.
Excuse me, coming through. Adam Newton in the deuce. The Nano Brothers entry. Nano Pros, number 2, up on the outside. Set his sights now on Nate Maurer. The 88 now. Paul Travis under attack on the inside. In the outside lane, Newton is driving up and making it work to get around them.
Yeah, great job there. Like I said, this outside, I mean, it seems to really work on these restarts. Now you'll see everybody kind of fade back to the bottom here. Paul K. Travis right back where he started. He's rocking that Alive Church car. I love seeing that, the sponsor on the car. Beautiful looking paint too, Wesley.
So does this series, Dean, for the most part, have throwback cars for like every week? They drive different throwback colors?
I would say no. In general, these are all personal paints. I mean, you don't see a lot of NASCAR paints out here. I mean, you might be able to see a relative of something, but most guys driving their own jobs. We got a lot of painters in this league.
Yeah, now that I see the Xerox colors, obviously that's a throwback to Alan Kawicki. When Alan Kawicki drove the Xerox car back in the day.
Okay, well, there we go. So, you know, I was worried, Wesley, that I didn't know your knowledge level. I get the Bulldog in here or Mr. Jared Carr in here. My goodness, they're vast knowledge. I mean, they're encyclopedias. You can take them back to the 60s. They know every paint job. Apparently, you're in their class as well.
Oh, yeah. Some historic race cars and their wrap jobs as well. As right now we're closing in on 25 laps for this event, another circuit around here. As there's the man in the number 8 leading the way, Bernard Person. And what a job for the Screaming Eagle Motorsports. What a turnaround, by the way, for that program. Also, just the all-around spectrum of Screaming Eagle Motorsports on the iRacing level. It's really got popularity lately.
Well, I mean, you announced some of our races. We don't get too much into that, but let me just say this to you, Wesley. Caw-caw!
Yeah.
we had the announcers doing the caw-caw thing there the one night. That was pretty funny. Person leading. Reiner right there, though. He is not losing him at all. So, and Ripka hanging on as well as Leal, Maurer. I mean, those guys, I mean, I just keep saying it. And Newton, I mean, I'll keep going. I mean, probably go through the whole field, but a lot of these guys are so good on the long run, Wesley. I don't even have any clue as to whose race this is yet. And
Aaron
Reiner
Beller chiming in. Eric Beller chiming in. He says, couldn't make it tonight. Let's go, Toad Man.
All
19
right.
to the front. So the Toad Man right now of Todd Gilly for Red Fox is in 16th position at the moment.
Rocking the Kailua glass colors, so he always got that beautiful paint on there. Let's go back
What
up
a solid
front,
drive,
though.
man. I love it. I love it, Dean. Look at now. We're starting to see the second place car, right? That's Bryce Rayner. Rayner is starting, or Reiner is starting to reel in your leader person here. Getting closer and closer.
I mean, he just tried to make a move. He just couldn't get it done, so he's regrouping, resetting here. But yeah, he's not losing anything here. And you can see the wheel here, Wesley. You just watch him. Watch how smooth it is and how he doesn't overturn. That's a short track. You got to crank it a little bit, but he's not going to overwork that wheel. And you see there the subtle corrections. They're not big corrections, right? That's what you want to see. You want to see a little correction to the right, but you don't want to see these massive swings of the wheel.
No, you're exactly right. As we're watching this here, the 14 reeling in the 8 for the lead. Remember, there's no stages. That's something also different for me. I call a lot of events, and usually there's stage races, stage points on the line. Not in this series. It's 175 laps, and you know, obviously you race to the finish. You got a start point, you got an end point. Chance of overtime if need be, but that's where you want to get to, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Old school racing, Wesley, is the way it used to always be done, and they're at it, man. And you know, you think about those old races. You think about the engine overheating. You see those guys come out of the cars and they'd have, you know, black smoke all around their eyes and everything. They were all beat up. Well, that's what these drivers go through. And we got yellows, so these yellows are going to help them not go through this.
Looks like the man in 21st spot is off the pace. That is the driver of Mr. Fred Lester. Yeah, Fred Lester. Usually I see him in a number 6 machine. He is driving the Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwback of the Mountain Dew National Guard colors and the 78 with a problem to put us under our 3rd caution here at Richmond, Dean.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I mean, not a whole lot. This is a tough track, short track racing. Cars are a little loose, but we've had a couple of cautions already. Let's have a look here on entry. That's how easy it is here at Richmond. You come in a little hot, the brakes maybe a little too low a brake bias. That rear end just wants to come around. We got everybody coming on, or a bunch of people coming on pit road. So this is going to be interesting, Wesley. Person stays out, along with Ripka, Ratliff, and Jason Spear. The rest of the field hits pit road.
So pit stops happening. There's the Black Rifle Coffee Company, number 51. He's in the pit lane. There's the man that was in 2nd spot. Had a good run for him. As Reiner will exit, here comes everyone else now, making pit stops. And I had a feeling, honestly, that this would have probably been the scheduled stops. We saw some cars come down to the pit lane earlier, kind of prematurely, as we had spoken about. But I figure right around this time is when you need to start making a trip to pit road, for sure.
Yeah, if you got the tires, 33 laps, this is going to help you for sure. So I'm worried about Person, Ripka, Ratliff, and Spear. They stayed out. I mean, how big of a mistake is this? I mean, we're going to find out, aren't we, Wesley?
Getting ready for the field to settle up and get ready for a restart here.
So Person again, and the one thing we always say like about a short track race, these cautions, the leader loves them. Okay, he might be the only guy who loves him and the only track he loves him at, because he's going to get that launch. He's going to get that lead. It's going to take guys 2-3 laps just to catch back up to him. In general, I mean, anything could happen. We know that. But in general, they could do a caution every 3 laps and win the race.
Yeah, they certainly can, and we'll get ready to go back for a restart here. It's still a long way to go in this race here. Oh, Dean, I've lost my video feed on your end, but I don't know if you can hear me or not, but the video feed is just spinning. So Everything else, though, showing it as we go for a restart. Bernard Person, Lance Ripka, Greg Ratliff, Jason Spear, all these guys in the top 5 as we'll get ready to try to reset this and go again here. Still a long way to go here at Richmond in this race. Again, 175 laps. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely is as we'll get ready to... Are we right back under caught? Yeah, get ready for a restart here. Ding.
Green flag, down and away. The 8, again, a little wiggle this time, but he still gets up there in front of Ripka. Ripka holds off Ratliff. Spear is going to try and hold off the field here. He gets up on the high side. He fits it in there. Reiner, though, making his move.
Makes that move. Look at that battle. Reiner on the inside. He'll settle up and battle on the driver door of Jason Spear. Spear gives him plenty of room. He drifts up the racetrack. Here comes now Jorge Leal to go into the middle lane. They might go 3 wide. He got better of it as they work in 1.
Wow, tight racing here, 2 by 2. Spear bounces off a car, maybe off the wall. Travis going low. There's no room, though. Holy cow.
Look at the 5, way up high just a moment ago with Greg Ratliff also. They thought about trying to go 3 wide yet again. Reiner stays locked to the bottom. Leal will follow. Here comes also Nate Maurer, and we got a caution. Trouble on the racetrack again, guys.
Not sure man. What the caution is for. We keep getting these cautions and not much going on.
I don't know what happened.
I don't see anything on the track, so we'll get a look and see if we can find something, but my goodness. These guys not known for cautions. They're going to be a little disappointed here.
I wonder if Darren Bruce had a problem. Driver, the 21.
21 would be
I'm sorry.
Kane.
Yeah, Darren Bruce is the 15. My apologies. Let's
there here. It is, too.
There it is.
Claus Williams got hit by someone on entry. That looks like James A. Bear. Not sure what happened, but we'll get a look in a little closer here.
So it is the driver of Claus Williams. And there's the 25 with a shot. That's James Herbert. James Herbert. Boy, oh boy.
So that's just a case of different breaking points there, and maybe a lack of patience. I'm not sure. More.
This is under the yellow flag.
So we got Williams on pit road with Lester. There's Reggie Evans, Scotty Grove on pit road. I think Buskirk might be, or Buskirk's still out. He'll be your lucky dog. He's got a few more laps to get back, and Olsen has retired.
And you see now Corey Buskirk, as Dean Hopton just mentioned, getting back now one of his laps. He is available for the free pass because he wasn't part of the caution, and he is multiple laps down. So being the only car lap down, multiple laps down, he is available to pass the pace car and get one of those spots back. However, he cannot come down to pit lane. That's one of those. It's one of those losers, right?
He can come down pit lane after this lap. He can still come on pit lane penalty free if he's a lucky dog. Yes. Wave rounds cannot. Lucky dogs can.
Right.
And by the way, just to correct Wesley, Doucette, not Hopkin. Just to clarify.
Did I say Dean Hopton? I'm sorry. My apologies. Dean Doucette. My buddy out of Canada, Dean Doucette. We called some NASCAR races last year.
Absolutely.
Working with each other. Had fun. He just didn't like Dean Hopton. The production side of things.
Listen, he's great at what he does. He's a good man. Person continuing to lead out here. Now Ripka up into second. And here's where it gets interesting on these restarts. Do you even want to be in second on these restarts? Because often second will lose a position to third. So watch for Reiner to try to get underneath Ripka here in 1 and try and steal second away from him.
Person, Ripka on that front row. Reiner, Ratliff, row 2. Leal and Spear. Maurer, Travis, Newton, and Herbert right there in the top 10 as the pace car comes onto the pit lane. Field is back into the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway. Green flag racing. Person with another flawless, great restart launch. Pulls away from that 52 machine of Ripka, and they're going to go out on the back straightaway.
And Reiner trying to work on Ripka. Like I said, Ripka had a great corner one entry, but on exit he was slow. Reiner has closed in now. Leal closing up as well, so Ripka's got to fight for his life here. He might drop to fourth or more if he doesn't get down there.
The Alive Church Xfinity Series, sanctioned by RGR Esports. We rock and roll in to 130 laps to go. 45 will be completed when they come to the line this time by. There's the battle now. Heating up for third. Jorge Leal, Lance Ripka, Nate Maurer. They're about to go 3 wide, going to 1.
Yeah, and Ripka is absolutely falling. Remember, he started second. Like I said, it's tough. I don't know if you want to be there, and it looks like he don't want to be there. And if he doesn't get down behind Maurer, this is going to keep happening. The Bulldog looks to fill the hole now.
Make a move for that spot down to the inside. Here comes now the 60, Nate Maurer. And behind him, here comes the Bulldog. It is Adam Newton. Clearing around Lance Ripka. Something happened to Ripka on the restart there.
The only thing that happened is he got hung up on the outside and didn't take any opportunity to get down. I'm not sure he actually had one, but that's what happens. You go from second to sixth. So, like I said, I mean, I don't even want to be second. If we go on pit road, I might just stall out a bit to get into third instead of second. Dangerous game to play, though, Wesley. Race for the lead right now.
Yeah, look at this battle for the lead. You called it perfectly, Dean, and they're not done yet. They're door to door. Reiner on the inside in 1.
Wow. The 8 trying to fit it in, and he does. He does not want to see what happened to Ripka happen to him, so he fits it in front of Leal. But your new race leader, Bryce Reiner.
Reiner waited patiently, waited for the opportunity around lap 50. He went for it with about 125 to go. Still a long way to go in this race, but we're seeing now how strong the number 14 is. He didn't just take the lead from Person. He has pulled away from Person as we see all these other drivers working to the corner. That's Rachel Hunt on the outside, battling with the 5 of Greg Ratliff on the bottom.
Yeah, Ratliff trying to hold off. It looks like the 1's pretty stout on the outside here. She's doing a nice job. I think she's found a little groove up there. Look at that. What a run by the 1 right around Greg Ratliff. Leal, meanwhile, is working around Person. So something's... Well, remember, we had pit stops now. So is that it? Was Reiner a pitter and Leal a pitter? I think they were. Let's check our pit board here and see. Yes, Reiner and Leal both pitted on lap 33.
They sure did. Jorge Leal and Reiner, and now these drivers showing that maybe having a new set of tires really works in your favor, because Bernard Person has not pitted yet. We see that on our time and scoring. As right now we've watched him.
It was a mistake, I mean, to not come in. But the one thing, when you're a leader, it's so tough. I mean, if you come in, maybe nobody else does. If you stay out, they all come in. I mean, it's so tough when you're the leader. You see Maurer working around Person. Now the Bulldog's going to pick on him. And Paul K. Travis, the whole time, the whole night, the 88 has been solid. You know, he hasn't been making any moves towards the exact front yet, but he's been rocking around this top 5 all night so far.
Big thanks to everybody joining us on Wind Tunnel TV. I just got the notification. Not only are we live on YouTube, but also on Facebook. And don't forget, hit Wind Tunnel TV. Hit subscribe and hit the follow on Facebook if you've not already done so. As right now we are closing in to lap number 60 of this race. 55 completed when they come to the line, and there is the man out in front. The Digital Sim Sports Team Connie, number 14 Chevrolet. Reiner waited patiently, made his move just on that last restart. And again, look at the launch he has over now Jorge Leal. It is over a second.
Yeah, I mean, Reiner looks solid. The only thing we don't know is how good Person is, or others that didn't pit, right? I think maybe Ripka, maybe that's what happened to Ripka too. I don't think he pitted either. So all that stuff I was talking, Wesley, there's another word for it, but all the stuff I was talking is
Oh,
throw
yeah.
it out the window because it was really old tires versus new tires.
No, but you're right, though, Dean. I mean, you've been in the catbird seat. You've ran in these machines before. You know what it's like. Obviously, when you come down to the pit lane and you take on new tires and you refreshing your car, you literally have a better launch than somebody that's been running 60 laps, like the man that dominated the first part of this race of Mr. Bernard Person. He's fell back to 7th now.
Yeah, and of course the cautions have stopped. That's the way that goes, Wesley. You think, okay, we're going to have cautions. I just won't pit this time. And then you don't see another one all night long. Here comes Brian Helm. He's going to come down. Remember, Brian on the pole at Darlington. Looked great. Had some kind of technical issue that sent him to the back. So he's trying to pick some spots up. Up to 7th he goes. But Reiner pulling away now.
This is race number 9, as we mentioned, of the RGR Racing Esports League. This is the RGR Alive Church Xfinity Series. We're at Richmond Raceway. Last week, by the way, Jorge Leal, as Dean Doucette mentioned when we came on the air, the 51 now is in second. There's that car. He won at, of course, tricky Darlington. He won Darlington Raceway, and right now he's trying to put himself in a back-to-back win scenario. And obviously, with the final races up on the horizon now, you're looking to see if he can run down the 14, Dean.
Yeah, I look for him, and that's what he does. So even at Darlington, he didn't start out front, right? This was the type of race it was. Oh, and you see how loose he was there off the corner. But it was very similar. As the race went on, as the run went on, the 51 just started to get fat. Well, he lost less time than the rest of the field. So by the time you got down to that last quarter of the run, he probably ate up 4 seconds on the field. So watch for him to try and do that. But right behind him, Nate Maurer, same kind of driver. You know Nate.
Nate Maurer, no stranger to also being an amazing competitor. He can get things done as well. And he looks very competitive right now in that number 60 machine. Right there to third. 2 Chevrolets, 2 Toyotas, and a Chevrolet in the top 5. And got one of your Canadian brothers there, James Herbert, there in the 6th spot of the 25, also being patient there, Dean.
Yeah, you got to get that Canadian tongue, though. Hey, Bear.
Hey, Bear. Hey, Bear. Hey, Bear.
A. As in Canada, like, you know, we always say A. It's
Yeah,
A, but
A.
A Bear.
A Bear. I'll remember that from now on. A Bear.
That's right. So, and the Bulldog, right? The Bulldog's right here. And I was talking about it a little bit earlier. I'm telling you, this man, I've raced with him for years now. And, you know, I don't want to say what he was like 4 years ago. But the one thing he is committed, and he practices, and he gets better and better. And now, you don't even have to say that anymore. He's reached the echelon that he's at. He's doing great. And now he's a short track. He is just dynamic. I mean, you put him on any short track, he is very, very good, Wesley.
The 14 still in the top spot. There's an Anno Pros entry. Number 2, Newton 4th, Paul Travis 5th. As they race on here at Richmond into the night as well. That's another thing we haven't really been hinted on or talked about, Dean Doucette, is the fact that we're racing at Richmond. It starts in the dusk, and then it moves into night when it'll be completely dark. That can also really mess with the handling on these cars.
Well, it can, and it can also mess you up when you practice in the sun and then you race in the night. It could be a drastic difference. Right now, the track temp, 91 degrees, probably continuing to drop, so guys have to adjust to that. You see Person there, and how about Michael Walker II and Edward Kane? Up 8 and 10 spots respectively, sitting in 9th and 10th spot. These are a couple of solid runs for these two, man. They're going to be really happy with where they're at right now.
Yeah, Scott Olliston is chiming in. Olliston says, this is RGR, not Nazareth. So I guess Dean said, I guess he's wondering why I'm in the broadcast booth with you.
That could be. Yes, it is indeed, Mr. Olson.
He chimes into a lot of our other coverage. So look at this now, single file around the racetrack. Let's look at Hunt. And that number 1, she is up to 11th, trying to crack the top 10. Lance Ripka behind her. Remember, Lance Ripka was right there in the front row, Dean, and then all of a sudden, yes, he did, and now he's all the way back to 12th on the racetrack, and he's not pitted yet.
That's all tires. I mean, that's what's going on. Person's fallen to 8th. Ripka's fallen to 12th. Jason Spear fallen to 14th, and I think we had one other. I got to look in my old trusty pit board here to find out.
Greg Ratliff was the other one.
Yeah, yes, he's in 18th. So that strategy did not pay off at all.
No, you're exactly right. Person is the Pied Piper of everybody that's not pitted yet. He's now in the 8th position, ironically, in car 8. Then you've got, of course, Lance Ripka, as we mentioned, and also Greg Ratliff. And all these drivers now falling back because their tires are used up. We're about 10 laps away, 15 laps away to halfway.
Are you going to ask me to do math?
No. I'm honestly thinking, though, Dean, that's what they're trying to do is get to halfway, and I think they're hoping for a caution. They're just praying that they're not the caution.
Well, that's going to be the interesting part, right? So halfway, 88, 87 laps, whatever you want. And those 4 guys we just mentioned, are they going to come in at halfway? Because the rest of them are obvious. They're going to go longer. They pitted on lap 33, so you can probably add 33 laps to that 88 lap. And that's maybe when they'll come in. But Person and Ripka, I mean, they got to get their butts in earlier than later. And they might want to wait for a caution, though, that never comes. I don't know, Wesley. They're in a real pickle now.
Oh, no pickle here. Stay in gas and just hold on all you can right now. Hoping for that flag to fly. As there's Maurer going after Jorge Leal, the Darlington winner last week.
And you can see ahead is Brace Reiner already hitting the exit of the corner. So they're about a half corner behind Brace Reiner, or about 2 seconds behind him, if you like.
And I love how Nate Maurer is still sporting the SpongeBob driver helmet there, Dean.
I don't know. I don't feel right about it. I'm telling you. Thing freaks me out a little bit, Wesley. Thankfully, I can't see its eyeballs. It might frighten me. He's making a move, though. Maurer down to the inside on Jorge Leal. So this is what we expect out of both of these guys, to make late run moves. And Maurer is seemingly ready to try and make his. On the outside, though, Leal holding them off.
Look at him battling door to door. And Dean, I think he's changed his headset, his driver helmet also. It's not SpongeBob anymore. It looks like the Legos cartoon character.
Well, let's get another look there. I mean, I don't know what the Legos cartoon character is, but you might be right.
Off of 4, Maurer had a run on Leal. He'll try it again.
Yeah, and this is where it gets interesting, because on the bottom is the better way around the track, but only if you're alone. If you got a car on the outside of you, you got to lift a little bit on exit, or you're going to plow them into the wall, so you can't get the run, you can't finish the pass. This is a very frustrating track in that regard.
And here is that lengthy green flag run, Dean Doucette, that we talked about will happen here at Richmond. Remember, we started the race, the first 50 laps, green, 5, 10 laps, caution, green, 5 laps, caution, restart, and a caution. Now we have settled into a very lengthy green flag run. I think it's going about 45 laps right now. The guys that ain't pitted yet, they're praying for a caution. Everyone else is just kind of riding right now.
And I think that's Lester coming off of pit road right there. But this battle for second place continuing to rage on, and this is another thing that you got to consider. If you can't pass someone and you're faster than them, do you get on to pit road? I mean, you can finish from here. Anybody can pit right now if they wanted and finish this race out. Do you do it for track position? I mean, will it hurt you in the long run? I don't know. I mean, short pit, long pit, always an interesting conversation, Wesley.
For people that might not know, Richmond Raceway in the Commonwealth of Virginia, it is a 0.75 mile. That is a 3/4 mile D-shaped oval track with 60 feet wide racing groove, 14 degrees of banking in the turns, 8 degrees on the front stretch, 2 degrees on the back straightaway. The back stretch measures at 860 feet. The front stretch, the D-shaped front straightaway, is 1,290 feet. That, of course, is the dimensions around this racetrack that these drivers are interfacing and taking on right now.
Yeah, beautiful track. Classic Richmond Raceway. Produced some of the great races of all time. Hell, I wonder if I could question you. Do you remember any great Richmond races, Wesley?
Oh, I think of some historic races. You obviously got to think of when Earnhardt wrecked the 11 of Darrell Waltrip. Back in the day in the 80s, I think of the time when Earnhardt got out of his car and cleaned his windshield under caution. That gave the first ever win, of course, also to Kyle Petty in his career when that happened. I think of, obviously, the years past of the controversial Michael Waltrip Racing trying to spin, Michael Waltrip and Clint Boyer spinning each other out. And then I think of Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt Sr. back in the day when they had their classic rival battles at Richmond. I think of Hurricane Fran when I was a kid, 96, when Fran hit. They still end up racing on a Saturday night at Richmond. And I remember my daddy telling me we're going to haul tail and ain't nothing left better to do. The power's out in North Carolina. And going up there and watching Mark Martin dominate at Richmond. So, yeah, man, I've got some pretty historic moments that I love about that track. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I love it. Love hearing it, Wesley. Just memories come flooding back, and it brings a smile to my face. It's kind of like old music. You can go watch some of these old races, and those memories all come back to you.
No, you're exactly right, man. And obviously I've had the privilege to also, announce there. Doing the modifieds or doing the street stock race from a couple of years ago. I think about that, and man, it's a special place. What gets me I'm so intrigued with iRacing is we're about to come to halfway. We're actually halfway in this race
Ripke's
now, and we're seeing Ripke. Yeah, Ripke's on pit road. He couldn't wait anymore. The Mission 22 Toyota on pit road. Here comes now Person on pit road. Oh, and by the way, green flag pit stops as Hunt comes down pit road. Green flag pit stops, a completely different animal, deemed and under caution.
They certainly are. And you know what these guys can do? They can do math right on lap 89. So one extra lap perhaps before they come on to pit road. And I mean, I think they had to. They're just hemorrhaging time. They didn't have much of a choice in the matter. So now they got to get out there and they got to take these next 20 laps to 30 laps, race like, you know what, out there, and hope that they gain a bunch of track position back and get a very timely caution. Because make no mistake, if they will have hopes of winning this race, they still need a caution. And they don't need one right now. They need it after these other guys go through their pit cycle.
No, you're exactly right. And the green flag pit stops have done nothing but put them a lap down.
Yeah, minimum. I mean, Ripke, where is Ripke on the track? He might be 2 laps
18th.
down.
Ripke's 18th.
And I think he is. We get a look in here and see where Ripke is on the board. I believe he'll be shown. Yes, he is 2 laps down right now, right behind our leader, Reiner. So this is important for him. He's got to at least get this lap back, just in case. Jason Spear, the other one who was on old tires there, he's on pit road a little later, lap 93. And there does go Ripke, so that'll get Ripke back to 1 lap down. That is very important for him.
Bryce Reiner still in the lead. The number 14, what a drive for him. And now we're seeing more drivers, it looks like, getting slower or getting ready to peel down onto the pit lane. By the way, 14 cars on the lead lap right now as we are approaching lap 100 and under 100 laps to go of this race as well. 81 to go now.
Yeah, we're getting down to. Here comes Jorge Leal. So early stop by the 51. Paul K. Travis also coming on pit road. This is interesting. I didn't expect these guys in who pitted on lap 33, but they're coming in now. This is a real short pit for these two. Very interesting calls.
Pit road is open still as we approach lap 100, and we are seeing more coming down pit road. The race rolls on. I'll say this, the 14 still way ahead of the 60 there. Got about a 3.5 second lead there, Dean.
He's been opening it up. I mean, and we got caution on the track.
There it is.
Jason Spear, that's an untimely caution for these people who hit pit road, like Leal, Travis, Person, Ripka, all trapped. And I told you how important it was, Ripka getting that lap back. At least he's only 1 lap down. He'll get that back here on a wave around.
Caution out as Jason Spear, multiple laps down to that Spear Motorsports Toyota into the outside wall, up into the safer barrier in the second turn. Here's a replay, Dean, of what happened to his Toyota to put us under yellow flag number 5.
Right?
Yeah, look at this.
From someone else, cold tires, entry into the corner.
Wow.
The brake bias may be a little low, and around you go.
And it ends a lengthy green flag run that went from about lap 45 to lap 95.
Yeah, great run. We're going to shake it up now, though. So everybody comes in. Person stays out. You see him. He's your lucky dog. He'll be back on the lead lap. That's huge for Bernie. He can come in and pit after he comes around here. So he will get tires. Ripka, on the other hand, Ripka will have to get a wave around, but he looks like he's trapped. Not sure. I think all these guys will get wave arounds. Greg Ratliff, Claus Williams. We'll have to wait and see how all that plays out. Here comes Maurer off pit road. Maurer won the battle off pit road. How big is that for Nate Maurer?
Wow.
He beat Reiner off pit road.
Sure did. What a job by the number 60. Maurer beating Reiner off pit lane, Newton off pit road, and now he'll be the new leader as we're seeing more drivers take the lucky dog or the wave around here in a moment to try to advance and get some laps back here.
There's Person coming in after he got his lucky dog, so
yep.
He'll go back to about 18th, but he'll have the tires and have the same strategy as everybody else. But Maurer, the big story so far, unbelievable. He is the race leader now, and now Reiner's got to contend with him. This is not what this looks like me out here. I mean, how many races I lost on pit road, Wesley?
Oh, there has been many that I can count where you've literally had such an amazing job on the racetrack, and then something happens, late race yellow, come down to the pit lane and lose all of that track position. And now they're going to have to fight and gain it back.
And, Reiner being in this spot now, I got to tell you, the number one thing you got to do is get back your mindset that you had. You were the best car. You don't need to overdrive. You don't need to do anything. You just got to be patient and do it. But what can do is you're so angry with yourself, Wesley, you can tend to overdrive now and burn your stuff up.
A new man up in front, as we aforementioned, as lights are off on the pace car. Nate Maurer up in front now. Bryce Rayner right there alongside. We'll see what he can do. And he had such a good run on the last restart, but it was on the inside. We'll see what he can do this time.
17 cars on the lead lap. You see Rachel catching up to the back. We're green flag racing. Maurer trying to hold off Reiner. The Bulldog trying to make a move underneath Reiner. Can't get there.
On the inside, as you mentioned, right there. Couple of Toyotas boxed in with that Chevrolet Reiner. And now we'll go single file again as they set their sights at 3. Not anymore. Here comes the App State colors of Michael Walker on the outside lane in 4.
How about Michael Walker? He is looking good out here. Him and Kane still up here in 6th and 7th spot. I am so impressed by these two tonight. They're having great runs.
Maurer on the inside, locked to the yellow line on the bottom of the racetrack, then climbs up against the safer barrier off of 4 to the line inside. Reiner with a run. This is what he did to Person. He's on the inside. He's going to clear him in 1 and 2.
Wow, Maurer let him get into there. He had a little wiggle up by the wall, and Reiner pounced back to the lead, the 14 brace rider. Newton now lurking in 3rd. James Hebert up to 4th. Hellman 5th. Walker the 2nd. Kane. How about the Toad Man up here in 8th as well? Bruce and Scotty Groove is up here.
New drivers, and remember, Scotty Groove had a problem earlier in the race. Rallied back.
Ooh, Reiner having some blink out problems. We don't wish that on anybody. You remember, a sim racer is a little different. Your engine may not blow, but you're at home. Your computer could have a malfunction, or your internet. So let's hope the best for Bryce Reiner there.
Reiner up in front again. Quickly, and Maurer took advantage of a pit stop, got the lead by exiting first, but you see how strong Reiner is. Machine looks, yep, cautions out as Person's in trouble on pit road.
G. Evans is your caution, and that car does not look healthy.
Boy, oh boy, but a problem there for Reggie Evans Jr., the number 75 Dirty South Racing entry. That Ford with a serious problem as he now rolls away. Here's a look at a replay, Dean.
Yeah, he's underneath the Scotty Groove there, and he just gets loose off the corner. That's easy to do here at Richmond. Fresher rubber. You can't gas that thing up too much, and a little lazy spin. He collected it. Not sure that should have brought a caution out, but it does.
But how many times have we seen that tonight, right? I mean, already 2 or 3 other times we've seen where these drivers just go in the corner, lose it. The most recent caution a moment ago, the 83 when Spear spun. Same thing, loose in 2, spun into the fence.
Yeah, it's very, very common here. You've got to have the best of control with your throttle here as Leal, Travis, Ripka, Lester, Evans all hit pit road. Greg Ratliff, Claus Williams. I mean, my God, we've only had a couple laps under green, but I guess they're looking for some new rubber already. I mean, why not? If you're at the back and you got the tires, I think they got like 5 sets. So, you know, they're getting down to it, but if you got them, let's use them.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. Take advantage of them.
I mean, we got to watch Leal.
Not saying you have to, but definitely if you got them, use them.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have to keep an eye on some of these guys. I hate using the names because some of the other guys might be upset, but you look at a Jorge Leal, you look at Paul K. Travis, Lance Ripka, these guys with fresh rubber back there. I mean, this could be a big move for them. Leal's going to come out in 13th place. That's not that bad with fresh rubber.
So Bryce Reiner back up in the lead again of the number 14. Nate Maurer in 2nd. Adam Newton 3rd. James Hebert is in 4th. Hebert and Brian Helm, top 5. Michael Walker, Edward Kane, the Toad Man, Todd Gilly in 8th. Darren Bruce is 9th. And George Dibble currently your top 10. There you see, look at all those cars. And
yeah, and I got to tell you, Wesley, I mean, you probably haven't done enough. We've been doing this series for, probably 6 series now, going back a couple of years or something. And my memory not that good, but I'll tell you, the story of this race is, and I'm on George Dibble right now, but Dibble, you got the Toad Man. Dibble's in 10th, the Toad Man in 8th, Kane in 7th, and Michael Walker the 2nd in 6th position. These are outstanding runs for these guys, and they ain't done yet. They're looking for more.
We're not done yet. 110 laps will be on the board when they come back to the restart zone. 65 to go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in on Wind Tunnel TV, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is the home stretch. I think this is where it starts getting good now, Dean.
This is where it gets great, Wesley. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Reiner wasn't about to give away the lead to anybody. He got a great start. Bauer rocking the outside. Newton peeking. Can't get there. Abear and Helm going at it. Kane and Walker going at it as well.
Both rows side by side, stride for stride behind the trio, single file working off of turn 4. It's Reiner on the jump again. Falling back, Jorge Leal. Leal now back to the 13th spot as he gets wrestled and battles hard with some competition there on the outside out of 2.
Well, remember, Leal, Ripka, they got that fresh rubber, but they're going to have a lot of traffic here. They got to be patient. They don't want to burn themselves up when they got nowhere to go. Leal losing his patience, trying to make it 3 wide in the middle. My goodness, the 51, trying to fit it in there.
Jorge Leal trying to slide right into those cars on the middle and on the top and the bottom lane. Thought about it, backs away. Now he's got company on his inside driver door. Here comes Paul Travis, outside lane. Ripka's there. They thought about going 3 wide. They do not as they work off 4.
Well, these are 3 guys with fresh tires stuck behind 2 guys who don't have them, and they're all fighting each other, wearing their stuff out. Holy cow! They're putting on a show here. We got to look up front. Everything's status quo up here. There's Bruce trying to make his way up here. He's underneath Kane now. So Bruce finally making his way up here to be moving up into 7th right now. Back to this battle. You got Travis. He's working on Scotty Groove now. Behind him is Leal and Ripka. And Leal, you know, it's just not his night apparently. He's got stuck on the high side a couple of times. Ripka did once too.
Oh, he got stuck on that outside
there's Scotty
lane.
Groove going around.
Look out.
No. He's down in the grass. No caution on the track. After all the cautions we've seen, this one doesn't trigger it.
This one will not trigger a caution flag as he is able to finally get back rolling again. But what heartbreak for that driver there, that number 74, Scotty Grove. No caution. We race on. The leaders go into turn 3 and 4 now.
I mean, Scotty Grove is having a nice little run here. I don't know if this is his debut race or not. I think it was. And my goodness, that's a tough one there to take.
And the other drivers were able to continue along racing like Gilly, like Leal, Ripka, Lester. Amongst that pack of what was going on in the top 15, there's the 19, watching that driver now start to work his way into the top 10. And there you see the other guys. Could we see Jorge Leal start to climb back and get something going here?
Well, I think you will. I think you'll see Ripka and Leal move up to the top 5 before this runs over or before the end of the race. But the problem is they've made slow work of it, right? That was not the start they wanted us. Oh, they got blinking. Ripka blinks. The Toad Man blinks. Wow. And they're racing side by side. They're having a little blink fight there.
Boy, Toad Man in trouble up on the outside lane. I don't want to say he's in trouble per se, but he just getting bypassed by a lot of cars on the bottom. As that went Lance Ripka. And Jorge Leal now setting his sights on him, and so is the 21 of Edward Kane. They're not done yet here door to door.
Ripka, he threw it in there from a long ways back. He's lucky Kane didn't come down there. He's, you know, after that start where he was bottlenecked, he said, I got no more patience. I'm going forward.
The Edward Kane car reminds me of either the Kraft or Velveeta sponsor in the middle of the car there.
Oh, Velveeta. I want to see a Velveeta car.
Velveeta, Kraft, maybe. I like that.
So Ripka now it sets the sights on Bruce. Bruce recognizes the tire difference, I think. He just lets him go. So now Ripka up to 8th. He's climbing as fast as he fell when he didn't have tires.
And by the way, we are settling ourselves in for 50 laps to go. We're at the home stretch of this race now. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you all listening, watching. Mr. Dean Doucette, you know his voice very, very well. Wesley Outland filling in for your regular Sunday night announcer.
Mr. Jared Kerr.
Yes, thank you, Jared. He reached out to us on our communication chat, and I said, hey, man, I'm not doing anything on a Sunday night, so I'll be with you, God willing, this evening as well as next weekend. And where are we racing next week for next Sunday's event, Dean?
How did I know you'd put me on the spot?
Never mind.
That's the one question I didn't want to hear right now, but I'm not sure, folks, and that's my bad. We'll get that information later on. Right now, he's looking in on the Bulldog there. Oh, quite all right. He's sitting in third. They already know about my lack of knowledge, so it's all good. Newton and Helm. I mean, how about these guys? I mean, quietly third and fourth right now. Bear fifth, Travis in sixth. All these guys have really solid runs so far.
Anyhow, always a privilege to be able to work with Mr. Dean Doucette.
Yeah,
I mean, called really, races with Nazareth in the past. It's been really fun.
Wesley, it's our privilege for sure to have you here. Love having you in the booth. Super happy that you filled in. I mean, we love Jared, and we couldn't ask for a better fill-in for him than you. And you know, I think we're gonna bring in a trivia one of these days, because we got the Bulldog, we got Jared Carr, and now we got Wesley Outland. I mean, I think it can be a three-way. I'm gonna have to get you guys some buzzers and everything.
Coming down to the end of this one, no doubt. Thanks, everybody, again, for checking us out. Under 50 laps to go. 48 remaining in the Alive Church Xfinity Series, sanctioned by RGR Esports on Wind Tunnel TV. Next Sunday, we're racing at Indianapolis. Thank you for giving us that update there. Indianapolis, the world's greatest race course. We'll be at Indy there, Dean.
All right, I love that track. That's one of my favorites to race for sure. You know, it looks like the exact same on both ends. I would beg to differ on that, and I just love that track. So can't wait to go there and see it as you look in on Paul K. Travis rocking the Alive Church machine. You know, live fully alive. That's her mantra, Wesley, and I love it.
And Dean, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Bernard Person, the number 8 machine, was given a black flag because of people not being able to get off of pit road. Again, so he got a penalty, and we'll see where the 8 ends up now. He might be out of the equation of this race now.
Okay, what did he get a penalty for?
He didn't go into all the details. Maybe he'll put it back in the chat box, but I'm kind of looking at some of our chat listeners, viewers chiming in, and he said that he got a black flag because people not being able to get off pit road. iRacing sucks for that. Part of the pun. That's what he said.
Yeah, probably some kind of problem down there on pit road. Very interesting. Or, you know, disappointing for him for sure. We're right along with Buckshot Ripka here. He's behind Paul K. Travis. There's Brian Helm on the high side, so he's going to move up now. Ripka will be moving up to 5th if he can clear Brian Helm here, and I think he has. So now he is already in the top 5. I thought he'd get there. I didn't think he'd get there this fast.
And you think of this also, Dean, Bernard Person was one of the Pied Pipers of the race, had such a great run going for him for the Screaming Eagle Ford number 8. And now, just like that, he's out of it. Multiple laps down. I mean, 27 laps down, if you want me to be honest with you. He's in 22nd position. His race is over. That's so frustrating for him.
Well, it really is. I mean, Richmond, like I said, I know Bernie's driving at Richmond. Heck of a driver, especially at this track. It just fits him for whatever reason. Race car drivers are like that. They have a couple of favorite tracks. Don't even know why. That just agrees with them. This one does. But tonight, the gods said, that'll be enough, sir.
And now we settle our sights in to 40 laps to go when they come back to the line. Anybody got anything for Mr. Bryce Reiner? They better show it now, Dino, because he has been the absolutely strong whenever he got around Person.
Well, I mean, Reiner's out there, and I don't know if anybody, Maurer might get him on a long run here. We're getting down to it, though. He's got to make his move soon. but I'm on board here with Jorge Leal. This is a guy I thought maybe could do something, but he has not dealt with traffic as well as Lance Ripka. Ripka, you can see, he's 3 cars ahead. And he is in the top 5 with, he's got 4th and 3rd right in front of him there. So he potentially could get up there and do something. Leal seems like he's leveled off here behind Bear.
Inside, outside, drivers looking high, looking low. That was Leal, the Darlington winner, trying to climb back in there. He's making a run on the Canadian and the Spartan Racing number 25. There, of course, is James Abert. Look at now the 19. Watch now, Toadman. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Toadman having a nice race here. He's up 11 spots on the night, putting that Kailu glass machine in the top 10. And right behind him, how about Fred Lester? Lester had early trouble. He's made his way back up to 11th here, Wesley.
And down the stretch where it counts the most now. Payout window about to be flung wide open as everybody starts getting their chess pieces in order for checkmate for the finish of this one. As Reiner in the lead.
But Maurer has caught our race leader.
Yes, sir. Nate Maurer's coming in a big hurry there, Dean.
He is coming. The 60 is known for this. Patient driver, not going to use up his stuff. Several guys are known for it, but Maurer, one of the best here, he has definitely caught him. The question is, how do you get a pass in? I'll tell you something I like to do at a track like this. The low line, hard to drive off the corner. I like to shock them by going on the high side on entry, and then their spotter will say car high for exit, and they got to adjust their whole driving style. So maybe we'll see Maurer attack them like that. Maurer and Reiner battling it out. The Bulldog back in 3rd. Paul K. Travis coming. He's one of the fresh tire guys, Keep talking about Ripka and Leal, and the 88 is like, can I get a little airtime in the Alive Church? He's under the Bulldog here.
And Newton just got a little sideways just a moment ago, working off the corner in his Toyota. This opens the door now to the 88 machine. That's Paul Travis. Travis on the inside, ready to pounce, is also Lance Ripka. And these guys are praying for a late race caution also, Dean. This would try to get them right back in the catbird seat. The question is, will they get it now with a 140 lap stop being complete?
Yeah, I mean, it's highly unlikely, but we've seen, some odd cautions, just guys coming into the corner all alone and losing the car. So anything can and will happen here at RGR Racing. The Bulldog continuing to hold off Travis. All along, Ripka's just riding behind him, waiting to see who wins this battle. And don't look now, here comes Leal working on Helm. So Leal finally is making his way. He's made his way by Bear. Now by Helm. He is up to 6.
What a show being put on by these drivers as we approach the home stretch of this event here tonight at Richmond Raceway for the RGR Esports Alive Church Xfinity Series. And right now, there you see that battle continuing. Probably the best one of the racetrack for 3rd and 4th. Adam Newton and Paul Travis, they still go at it. Ripka's still watching on as they hit the back straightaway here at Richmond.
This is incredible action, Wesley. I mean, unbelievable driving by both guys. I can't believe the Bulldog is just fighting for his life on the outside. And Paul Gay is saying, can you cut me some slack? He's like, no way. There's 30 laps, under 30 laps left. Ripka's right there. Newton's trying to hold on for everything. Oh, and loose is Paul K. Travis. Ripka says, okay, I'll go high then.
Ripka thought about going 3 wide. Does he go up the middle? No, he will not. It's sideways. Gets into the side of the 88 machine of Travis. And they still hold it together as they go back into 1. Wow.
Unbelievable driving here. Newton wraps the corner after that. They continue this battle. This is incredible racing.
loose a moment ago, coming to the line this time by stride for stride at turn 4 to the stripe. Look at now Newton rallying back on Travis. Ripka watches on as they go to the inside in 1.
Travis is going to get him here, and yes, there he is. He's finally clear. Can Ripka get underneath here? I think he can. Ripka throws it in hard on the bottom. Newton trying to close him off. So Newton loses one battle and is immediately inserted in another.
They'll be closing in on 25 laps to go next time around. Look at him now at the bottom of the racetrack. It is now Travis on the high side. Flip-flop those spots. Ripka on the inside and hung out to dry. Maybe damage on the deuce is Adam Newton. He starts to now reel him back in on the bottom, all 4.
Wow, Newton powering down on the line there. Unbelievable. He does not want to give it up, nor should he. There's only 25 laps remaining.
Shootout time, 1 1/4 complete. 150 laps complete. 25 to go. As now they work off 4. There's your leaders. There they are. Reiner and Maurer. The interval is about 0.6 of a second. Can he reel him in? He still has plenty of time.
I mean, he was there, right? He got there, tried to make a move. Did Maurer burn his stuff up a little bit? I mean, that would be hard to believe, but I'm telling you, Bryce Reiner, we got to give him his due here, Wesley. He's been so good lately. You've seen him in a GT3 car. You've seen him on a super speedway, on a 1.5 miles, on a short track. The man can drive anything.
Bryce Reiner in the lead. Nate Maurer, we know how good of a driver he is. Can he rally, get back in it again on the inside or up against the wall? There's 1 and 2. Maurer, was he just kind of playing possum? Because here's the deal, Dean, as we close in on 20 laps to go, he hasn't lost ground to Maurer. He's been within the crosshairs of him, even when he lost that momentum the last time when he caught to the 14. And also, lap traffic. You see a car or two, a backmarker car up ahead. Could it be a factor to decide the finish of this race?
Absolutely. It always could be a factor. I mean, it depends on how they play it. Some cars will move all the way over for you, but I got to tell you, when you're in a short track like this, you're not often aware of who's right behind you all the time. There's too much going on. So these guys could sneak up on someone. They could wreak some havoc, and Maurer will look to capitalize. Also, keeping an eye on Travis and Ripka. They are over 4 seconds behind. They're closing, but it's too little too late, I think, with 20 to go. They'd have to really rattle off some lap times.
The leader, Bryce Reiner, there he is. So I'm sorry, there's actually that battle for a 3rd and 4th, as we mentioned. And also, here comes now Jorge Leal, the Black Rifle Coffee Company, number 51, the Darlington winner. He is now ran back down the deuce of Adam Newton, the Bulldog. This is a battle going on. You got action everywhere as we close in. Under 20 to go here at Richmond.
Yeah, and this is the way it goes around here. You know, things concertina back up, another word for accordion back up there. And, yeah, these guys are close now. Leal, he just hasn't had the speed here tonight that we're used to seeing from him. But make no mistake, he wants to get up here and get a couple more spots. He is your points leader. Now closes right up on the deuce.
And I see where Jorge Leal lives in Winchester, Virginia. I've announced many times at Winchester Speedway up in the Commonwealth, and actually I'll be there about 2 times this year in 2025 with the Dirt Car World Racing Group at Winchester Speedway's half mile. Right now, the man from VA taking it to the man from North Carolina. The 2, he resides just up the road from Orange County Speedway of Adam Newton. They're going to battle door-to-door all 4.
Quite a battle these guys are engaging in, and you've seen how hard Adam Newton fought Paul K. Travis and Lance Ripka just ahead of him. He's going to do the same to Leal. If Leal wants his spot, he's going to have to earn it. Let's go up front here, and it looks like Reiner's starting to open up a little bit. Almost a second lead on Maurer. Travis in third, holding off Lance Ripka. Great job by Paul K. Travis. Love to see him get at least his third place position. Behind him, here comes Leal.
What a job to promote Alive Church as well as the sponsor of the RGR Esports Alive Church Xfinity Series. Right now, Reiner the lead, Maurer second. By the way, he has increased it to over a second now as we still watch Leal and Newton battle door to door. There's action everywhere. The cameraman's going to get a migraine trying to keep up with all of it with 13 to go.
Absolutely, the Black Rifle Machine battling the Nano Pros. What a job by these guys. Right behind him, Brian Helm. Nice run here tonight for the 46. Michael Walker the second in 8th. A solid run. Abear has slipped to 9th now, and the Toad Man still inside the top 10. Back up to this battle. And Leal trying to regroup here and restorm and recharge in.
In the words of the movie Armageddon, it is pucker time, and it's ready to settle in for the home stretch as we are nearly at 10 laps to go, 11 at the line. Reiner has already crossed the stripe. Here's that battle now for third and fourth right there, still going at it. Travis and Ripka, Maurer, Newton, Leal, all these cars in the top 5 fighting it out, and Dosey going for the finish.
Yeah, this battle, I mean, I'm surprised that Leal can't get up there and make a move on Newton. Newton is just doing a great job holding him off. Right ahead, you got Ripka still looking at the back of that Alive Church Machine and Paul K. Travis. All along, Maurer is losing time, albeit not much. I mean, he was like 0.9, now it's 1.1. You know, that's 5 or 10 laps, so they're very even up here, but Maurer has got to dig deep and find something here. And there's your lap car.
Yep, here it is, my friend. We're in single digits now. 9 laps to go when they come back to the line. There's the 74. How about that, man? Scotty Grove had some bad luck. Had a caution that didn't turn into a caution, if you remember. That really changed things around for the 74. But Dean, he's now moved his way back to 17th. Last car on the lead lap, but we're now at 9 to go here at Richmond.
Yeah, 8
to go. Yeah.
Coming to 7 to go. That's right.
Yes,
Bryce Reiner leading this thing. What a performance he's put on. Remember, he come off of pit road in second. And only a couple laps in, Maurer let him get him, and that was the mistake, or that was the race move, the race winning move so far by Bryce Reiner. He is now, same as before, about 1.1 second ahead of Nate Maurer. There's Travis trying to hold off a cavalcade of cars. He's doing a great job. He's got to hold it together here for another 7 laps, coming to 6 laps to go. Look at that line. How did they get this close this late?
Phenomenal. Look at this. And what a job for Paul Travis, as you mentioned, the Alive Church Chevrolet for Piston Broke Motorsports. Right now, sitting on the podium spot, if he can hold off Ripka and Newton, they're right there within the crosshairs, ready to pounce on him. And right now, those other 2 cars, they're nowhere inside of Travis. This is 3rd through 7th going at it at the line.
Newton's loose. George Leal takes him on the outside. Newton fighting back, can't hold on though. George Leal is going to go up to 5th spot, put Newton back to 6th. Now Helm's going to be looking at Newton. They smell chum in the water.
It's definitely time to pounce, if you will. If you haven't done it, you better go now. Time running out. Shades of the hourglass running short. Under 4 to go. 3 to go when they come to the line. And Reiner and, again, Maurer is still separated by a second. They're nowhere inside of the 3rd place cars. They're on the backstretch. The leaders are working to the start-finish line now.
There, and you just gave me a flashback. Hourglass, my God, I thought I was just sitting at my grandma's house having lunch when I was 5 years old. Days of our lives, Wesley. Not again. Bryce Reiner out here, 3 to go, coming down to 2 to go for Bryce Reiner in the Alive Church Richmond 175.
My first horror movies was watching Days of Our Lives and seeing Marlena possessed, right? Remember that? Is it Bryce Reiner in the lead? The 14 up in front. Looking good. Nate Maurer, now a second and a half the interval. To the back straightaway. They work off a 3 and 4 to the D-shaped front stretch. White flag in the air. One more lap to go here at Richmond as they go back into turn 1, Dean.
Leal just got by Lance Ripka. That's for 4th place. But it's all about the Reiner in the 14. What a run by Bryce Reiner. Down the backstretch. Into 3 he goes. Out of 4 he comes. He'll be your race winner here in the Alive Church Richmond 175. Maurer will grab 2nd. Here comes Paul K. Travis. Jorge Leal sneaks into 4th place. Ripka in 5th with Newton challenging along with Helm. Walker the 2nd right there. A-Bear and the Toad Man grabs a top 10.
What a solid race here, guys. Had a couple of cautions, not a lot. Very entertaining, very fun when it is all said and done. What a job for the driver there of the number 14, Bryce Reiner. He showed 2 times how good his car was to get back in front, clear by traffic, and when it counts the most, made that amazing restart on Nate Maurer to seal the deal for Team Connie and Digital Sim Sports. He wins here at Richmond.
Yeah, what a drive by him. I mean, you put yourself, you might have had a bobble on pit road or something, or maybe Maurer just had an excellent pit stop. He gets out in front of him. We'll find out when we interview him, I'll tell you that. But Reiner, just unbelievable. So consistent. What a drive. And he's trying to do a great burn down here. I think he might be too happy about this one to be focused on walking the dog or anything. What a job. Right now, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll get some race interviews in, including Mr. Bryce Reiner. We're still live. All right, back here at Richmond Motor Speedway where Bryce Reiner come out victorious. A great show, some great battling, some different tire cycles for the guys. Made it pretty interesting for us, Wesley.
It was, man. It was definitely a fun one for sure. I think you knocked out the top 10 whenever it was all said and done. Rest of the finishing order found Kane, Dibble, Evans, Bruce, and Lester top 15. What a comeback for him after having problems. Rachel Hunt, that young lady, finishes 16th. Scotty Grove was the last car. Scotty Grove was the first car a lap down. But what a comeback for him after some bad luck at the end. Ratliff, Spear, Williams, Jacob Massile, Person, and Buskirk and Allison, the way they finish out here at Richmond here, Dean. What a fun race again. At the end, Bryce Reiner, he really showed his strengths earlier, and then, of course, when it counted the most, definitely put that car in the right place at the right time, stayed out of trouble, and congrats to him.
Yeah, and some of these guys, showed themselves tonight, right? Like Kane was up there, Dibble was up there, Walker the second finishing in 8th. These are, the Toad Man with the top 10. I'm always proud of these guys because, you're with them for so long when you've done this for a year or more with them. and you get to see the improvement. And that's what you love about sim racing, right? I mean, you know the Bulldog Newton, his improvement over 4 years is outstanding, just as an example. And we're seeing that from guys in this league. It may be, I don't know about the best part of the race, but it's certainly up there for me watching these guys have some success.
No, you're exactly right. And I know we're waiting the opportunity to speak to these drivers coming up here post race. And man, what a phenomenal job. As again, we'll get their thoughts in just a moment. But boy, what a solid run for everyone here. It was a good race at Richmond, right? Only a handful of cautions, Dean, and a very entertaining race we saw for sure, too.
It certainly was. And right now, let's turn our attention to those interviews that we bring in. The number 88, rocking the Alive Church car, Paul K. Travis, with a third place finish. Man, great run, Paul. Congrats on third place.
I appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of stress too.
Well, I wanted to touch on that. I mean, you're up here in the top three. You look solid and everything. And now you got, Leal, Ripka, Newton, hounding you and looking to pounce on you. I mean, how was it for you? Were you getting a little nervous there at the end?
I was doing more mirror driving than I was out the windshield. And I was real nervous. Lance, he had an outstanding car, and I'm gonna tell you, Buckshot won't no joke, dude. He was right there on my bumper. Every time I looked up, I just knew I made one mistake, I was done.
Absolutely. And I mean, you didn't, though. That's the big thing, right? So that's one of the keys here at Richmond is, just mistake free. How hard was it? I mean, we went green there for a large portion of the end of the race. How hard was it for you to just keep hitting your marks, not make a mistake? I mean, we've seen guys lose it on entry. We've seen guys lose it on exit. We didn't see a lot of your car moving around.
She was pretty solid. We worked on the setup since we got into the server tonight, and did 110 lap run just to see where the tires were going to be, and it played out. I think you just couldn't push it real hard in the beginning, and we got down to those last few laps. I caught Adam. I knew I had fresher tires than him, but boy, he put up a hell of a battle on the outside.
Wesley, we're trying to Wesley Outland here to throw a question at Mr. Paul K. Travis.
Well, Paul, congratulations on the podium. Obviously, Eric Beller is chiming in chat. He said, please tell Paul in the interview, Eric says hello, awesome job, and you were beat, fun to watch.
That's awesome. You guys reply a message back to him and tell him, man, we missed him on the track tonight and look forward to seeing him back on the track, and I appreciate it.
Now, my question for you, Paul, is this. We saw a very different outcome of a race at Richmond tonight, right? Because I think a lot of people might have thought there would be a lot of caution flags. There really, really wasn't. How did that change the strategy of the long green flag runs for you, especially holding off the battle of Leal and Repka and Newton and everybody that was coming at you at the end of it?
I think both of them guys were probably a lot better than I was. I just got through the traffic a little bit better and a little bit quicker. George got hung up on the outside. When he did, I took advantage and got down to the bottom, and I figured if I could get away from them a little bit, it would take them a little bit to get through there. I knew they was having a heck of a time, but it was fun. Even the lap guys, they would move over and show a lot of respect. Towards the end, the cautions kind of fell in our favor a little bit.
Well, Paul, it was an amazing run, man. Really nice to see that Alive Church machine up here on the podium, getting a lot of airtime tonight. Congrats on third place. We'll turn the mic over to you, brother. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
I want to thank Mike and Shannon Brown. Without them, this division probably wouldn't be what it is today. Got to give a big shout out to Greg and Todd and George Dibble. Them guys do an outstanding job. Also want to give a big shout out to Jason Brantley. His wife had to have her ankle reconstructed yesterday morning, and he couldn't race tonight because he's dealing with that. Just prayers and thoughts for a speedy recovery for Allison Brantley. Wonderful people. Couldn't be doing this without them.
All right, Wesley, that's Paul K. Travis, the number 88. Third place finish here tonight in that sponsor machine. What a job by him.
Yeah, really solid drive there for, of course, the man there behind the the sponsor on the RGR Esports Alive Church Xfinity Series number
Right now,
25. Yeah.
we'll bring in the number 60, Nate Maurer. Nate, second place, man. It was a great run by you. Tell us a little bit about your run.
Just lucky I didn't pit when I was almost forced to pit there when everybody was making them green flag pit stops. I was about ready to come in. Good thing I didn't. Yeah, that final run, I don't know why. I told Bryce to go around me. I'm not good on short runs. I'm only good on long runs, and I didn't want to get bumped from the back. We were talking. I was hoping he would make a mistake, and he was mistakeless. I made a couple mistakes behind him, and then there towards the end, he had that lap car in front of him, and there was my time to pounce on him like a cat, and I went to go do it, and I had no rear traction. Tires were blown off the thing. But all in all, great race. Great job to Bryce. I don't know if I ever followed somebody for that many laps and not see them make one single mistake.
Well, it is tough. I mean, people have followed you and probably seen the same before, and Nate. But I got to tell you, you pulled the curtain back a bit there. I'm a little disappointed that you moved over for him. How'd you beat him off of pit road? I mean, I thought that was so huge, but I guess you weren't really looking to have someone all over your bumper.
It's just my pit crew guys. I got them all dressed up as Buzz Lightyear guys, so pretty quick there on pit road. But I don't know how I beat him. Adam Newton asked me the same thing all the time. He always wonder how I'm always a tenth or two quicker than him on pit road. Honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but maybe he had some damage. I don't know. Maybe he messed up. Who knows? But I beat him out by a good bit. I don't think it was anything on my part. But that was a great race.
All right, we'll turn it over to Wesley. Wesley, what you got for Nate?
It's always good to catch up with my buddy out of Lancaster, PA, Nate Maurer. Nate, I got to ask you two questions. First off, was you hoping for a late race caution, obviously, to run down Reiner? Did you feel like if you could get a chance at him again on a restart, would you have went after him to win it? And secondly, is it SpongeBob on your helmet, or have you switched up your cartoon helmet characters now?
I'll answer it should still be SpongeBob. I put that on there years ago for my son, and I guess it's still there. But also, no, I did not want a late race caution. I'm terrible on short runs. I get ran over all the time. I guess I'm not aggressive enough to be good on short runs. If we would have had like a 5-lap shootout, I would have been toast. But no, I was happy for the second place. I mean, Bryce deserved to win, so that's why I was all right finishing second to him. But glad to see two Pennsylvania guys on the front row here.
All right, Nate. Well, a heck of a run, man. You put on a show for us. Some late challenges there. Almost got her done. Second place. Nothing to sneeze at. Congrats on that. We'll turn it over to you, brother. Anybody you want to thank or shout out, you go ahead.
I gotta say thanks to all the everybody that runs this league, all sponsors, everybody. Great league. New guy in here tonight. I know he got some damage early on. Hopefully, sticks around. See how good these guys are. And yeah, we only had 3 cautions tonight. I don't know, but great race here at Richmond. Shout out to you, Dean, for broadcasting this thing, and nice to see Wesley in here. It's been a while because I'm kind of trash anymore in the other leagues that he broadcasts, but good to see bringing some new blood in here.
Oh, don't say that.
But
what do you mean? Is he not trash? Crashed.
But just shout out to all the guys that show up every week, because without all the guys coming here and racing for free, this league wouldn't be anything. But just they do a great job. I can't say it enough. Probably my best league I'm in. Ran great. No rule book, like they say, or thin rule book, whatever. Just a bunch of great people.
All right. Congrats again, Nate. What a run by the number 60, Nate Maurer. We turn our attention to one spot better. The 14, rocking the Team Conti car, Bryce Reiner, down in victory lane. Congratulations, Bryce.
Thank you, Dean. It was a bitter, tough one tonight, but we made it through and we stuck it out and we got the victory for it.
Well, you did, and we're thinking about that pit stop, right? Well, first off, how did he beat you out there, or do you even know? And secondly, when you got out on the track, were you surprised when he let you go?
Um, Going back to the pit stops and that caution right before, I was pitting that lap when that caution came out, so I was super lucky to be far enough back to where I didn't have to call out my pit yet, and I got super lucky with that caution. I didn't really want it. I wanted to see how our long run pace was and just see where everything cycled out to. That's what I love about green flag runs and seeing if we could battle anybody. Um, but going to that caution and pitting, I had 12 seconds of damage. I banged the wall right when that caution came out to let Rachel go by. I was thinking about fixing it, but with this short track and you don't need much of, the body aspect of things. When I saw Nathan and everyone start passing me, I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't have that much time in pit road, so I just floored it and stuck to second, and I was very surprised that he let me go. I know it was a lot of laps, 80 I think it was to go or something like that. I was not expecting him to let me go. I was just going to battle him and pass him if I could.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to hear it. I thought that was a clean pass, but Nate, ever the courteous driver, let you go, so that is what it is. Wesley, what you got for Mr. Bryce Reiner?
Well, Bryce, congratulations to you, sir. It seemed like your car looked really, really good on the restarts. Maurer said his car struggled on restarts. Is that kind of the way you had your car set up, man? And obviously, what was your take of being able to battle not one, not two, but three different competitors up at the front that you had to get around and just to show how strong that number 14 Chevrolet was?
Yeah, great question, Wesley. The restarts aren't really my forte when it comes to caution after caution, and you're having to time the restart and kind of get it pretty well, and no rear spin. Luckily tonight there was no magic in it. I was just able to keep it clean on the restarts and gain a couple positions, which led me pretty much to taking the lead pretty soon and leading a bunch of laps. Um, yeah, I forgot the other question, but it was a blast tonight. Oh, battling three competitors, I love to do that. I don't want to win by 12 seconds. Sometimes you'll get that, but sometimes you won't. And battling is fun, especially in this league where we pretty much just race clean from green flag to checkers.
Bryce, what a night for you, man. I thought you did awesome all night. Nobody was really giving you anything. We had a little off strategy on the tires with a couple of cars. Did you think that that was also, maybe took a couple of competitors out of the situation?
I was committed to pitting there when Bernie chose not to, and then behind me I saw Lance take it out. That was a great call by me. I think I could have ran a little bit longer, which I did before that caution came out. Tires aren't huge when it comes to, 10, 15-ish laps into the run, but later on in the run, you will be quite faster than the guys that didn't pit. So, and then everybody followed me. So I was glad that that happened, and I restarted fifth. So it was good.
Yeah, it was great, and maybe the part that made it a little easier on you. But Bryce, I got to tell you, you've been looking great. We said it during the broadcast. GT3, mile and a half, Dega, short track. It don't seem to matter. You're looking good out there, man. You got her under control. Congrats on this one. It was a great victory and a great show, man. We'll turn the mic over to you. Any sponsors? Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, you can't give me all the credit for being good on every track. But I appreciate that. Bristol and Richmond and Iowa are very similar. I love those three tracks. I know we got Iowa coming up in 2 weeks. Really thrilled about that, and just got to keep pace with the guys up front. I know George got unlucky, but he pulled back to fourth, which doesn't help me in the long run. But we closed the gap just a little bit shorter. I just want to give a shout out to you guys up in the booth, Wesley, for joining us tonight, and Live Church that sponsors this event, East Coast Web Printing for Gen 6, Team Conti for all the help that they do on the oval side, Martin PC, and we will get after it this week for the Daytona 24.
All right. Well, good luck in the 24. You didn't need luck tonight. You showed a lot of skill. Congrats on this victory. Wesley, Bryce Reiner, winner of the race here this evening. It was a good show, man. I mean, what'd you think about this race here at Richmond?
Flawless performance. This race had totally a lot of different vibes than I think a lot of people, even myself, might have anticipated. You would think there might have been a lot of caution flags. It just was not. Was there a handful of cautions in this race? Yes. Was there strategy change because of those yellow flags? Yes. The long flag, green flag runs, did that really show strategy? Green flag pit stops for the front runners earlier put them in a hole. They had to climb out of that hole. It was fun. It was exciting. Thank you so much. Indianapolis on deck next week. I look forward to being here. Want to say thanks to Jared Carr for letting me be able to fill in his seat. And, of course, Dean Doucette for you welcoming me to work with you guys on the multiple occasions I have with Wind Tunnel TV, sir. It was a good one.
Absolutely. Love having you here, and we'll love having you next week. We're at Indianapolis. That's right. So we got the coverage every Sunday, 9-10 p.m. roughly here on Wind Tunnel TV. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Wesley Outland, that wraps it up here from Richmond. And we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.